Thank you, and a big hello from London. There is a lot to go through today, as we not only have a busy week last week in weekly patterns, but we also saw monthly patterns for June. And in one particular energy spread, we had an interesting combination of these two. Okay, so we'll start with the weekly patterns from last week, and we had weekly key reversals down in the currencies in US dollar, Philippine peso, euro against Romanian lei, and the US dollar against the Korean won. In all three of these, we have seen reactionary moves back up this week. However, all three also still remain within last week's ranges. We also had weekly key reversals up last week in US dollar Thai baht and US dollar Nigerian naira 1 month NDF, if only just. In US dollar Thai baht, we have seen a small attempted follow-on higher this week, but it is still within last week's range right now. And in the US dollar Nigerian naira 1 month NDF, we have seen a clear, if smaller, follow-on higher this week, though it has not been without incident, and the move higher is quite small. In the financial markets, we saw a weekly key reversal down in French CAC 40 futures last week, and a weekly key reversal down in the US, in Chicago, in the US T-bond futures last week. The CAC 40 futures saw a reactionary move back up this week, though still within last week's range. However, US T-bond futures saw a significant follow-on lower this week. Moving now to commodities, and we had weekly key reversals down. In Chicago rough rice futures, which this week may not have had a follow-on lower, but they also did not have any decent recovery and still look quite weak right now. We've also had a weekly key reversal down in Chicago soybean meal futures, but this has seen a reactionary move back up so far this week, though it's still within last week's range. We also had a weekly key reversal down in the SGX SICOM TSR20 rubber futures in Singapore. And here again, we have seen a reactionary move back up this week, but still within last week's range. Now, looking at weekly key reversals up in the commodities, and we had a weekly key reversal up in New York coffee futures. And here, the market has tried lower, but its attempt lower have been limited. This is also the case for LME 3-month TIM, which saw a weekly key reversal up last week, but attempts this week to try higher have been limited. This brings me to my final one, and it is a spread, the Brent gas oil spread. Last week we had a weekly key reversal up here, and this week prices have followed on higher, which is all well and good, but as not all, as last week we also saw a monthly key reversal up for the month of June here in this same commodity spread. And in both cases we have seen prices rise thereafter. This is one to note, especially how both patterns happened at the same time. Okay, so that segues nicely into the monthly key reversals we saw in June. And apart from this commodity spread, we also had in the currencies monthly key reversals down in US dollar Indian rupee, US dollar South African rand, and sterling South African rand. This last one was interesting as it was an immediate countering monthly key reversal down to an earlier monthly key reversal up made in the month of May. Now, bearing in mind monthly patterns such as these are longer term patterns, and you might not have any immediate follow on this week. Well, all three have so far seen reactionary moves back up, so you might have to wait on those for now. We also had monthly key reversals up in US dollar Israeli shekel and US dollar Macedonian dinar. US dollar Israeli shekel has seen the market try higher this week without much success, but still hold towards the top end of the range. Whilst US dollar Macedonian shekel, well, that has seen a market move down to the middle of last month's range. I guess we'll have to wait on these two currencies as well. Now, onto commodities now, and in energy we had a monthly key reversal up in NYMEX heating oil futures and in ICE gas oil futures. Looking at NYMEX heating oil first, and we can see a significant follow-on high already to last month's monthly key reversal up. If we now look at ICE gas oil futures, we can see a similar attempt to follow on higher to last week's monthly key reversal up. However, though it looked good, today has seen a pullback of note, shall we say, compared to NYMEX heating oil. So keep your eye on this one. I've already spoken about the monthly key reversal up in the Brent gas oil spread, so I'll go on to my final commodity, and it is a spread also. The sugar white premium spread had a significant monthly key reversal up in June, and I covered this in my sugar video commentary this past Monday. However, this week has seen a dramatic move lower in the spread already, and that raises all sorts of questions, even at such an early stage. As always, I'm happy to answer any direct questions with anyone who is interested. With that, I'll finish this section from London, and I hope you found these comments useful.
Thank you for listening. This weekly broadcast gives the essential market patterns and consequences. Please be aware of the risk disclaimer posted both at the front and at the back of this broadcast. Copyright is Eddie Topic and ADM Investor Service International Limited. And here comes the final important bit. Thank you for listening. This weekly broadcast gives the essential market patterns and consequences. Please be aware of the risk disclaimer posted both at the front and at the back of this broadcast. Copyright is Eddie Topic and ADM Investor Service International Limited. And here comes the final important bit.